story I want to get into, is the story of what's going on in Minnesota. By the way, imagine if you were to say, a reporter writes a negative hit piece on you. Your name is Tim Walz. All right, whatever. Imagine a podcaster does a full-on investigation on you. Boom. Here's what Tim Walz's background's all about. All right, whatever. Imagine if Fox News does something on you. Yeah, that's bad, right? But what's worse than Minnesota's Department of Human Services? This is a tweet that none of us saw that happened on September 11 of last year when Minnesota's Department of Human Services employees sent a message to Kamala Harris, okay? September 11, Rob, can we show the date so they can see it on the bottom, please? Zoom in a little bit. There you go. September 11, 2024. They send it to her. It only gets 45,000 views. Let's read it together, Rob. Miss Harris, please listen to Minnesota state employees who work every day to deliver best services possible to our state and people who expect no less and pay our wages. Tim Walz has caused incredible harm to our state and agencies, retaliated against whistleblowers, against fraud. Zoom in a little bit. So what are all these things called? Feeding our future, $250 million.
Jeez.
Okay. Child care assistant, $100 million. Frontline worker bonus pay, $45 million. Evergreen recovery, $28 million. Medicaid, 11. 10.4, 9.5, all Medicaid. Employee benefits, 8.6 million. Medicaid, 7.7, 5.4 million. Unemployment benefits, 4.7 million. SNAP, 4.1. Medicaid, 4 million, 3 million, 2.6, 1.8, 1.6 million. Futuristic Management Group, 1 million. Medicaid. And they have Medicaid autism clinics, $501 million, give or take. Then another tweet comes out saying the fact that why is it that in Minnesota, check this out, autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota after Somalians opened their own centers. 2018, 3 million. 2019, I don't even know what you call that, 18x to be exact, 54 million. Next year, 77 million. 2021, 183 million. 2022, 279 million.
Oh my God.
2023, 399 million. And if you go a little bit lower, they ask Grok to verify it, and Grok even responds back, okay? Have any of these guys been held accountable in Minnesota? Look at Grok, go a little bit lower. Yes, the FBI and DOJ are investigating Medicaid fraud in Minnesota autism centers. Many serve in Somalia's communities. Ashraf Farhan Hassan was charged September 2025, which was 2 months ago, with wire fraud. $40 million scheme-related housing fraud charges include Mukhtar Hassan Adin, Mustafa Daib Ali, and others, obviously many traditional American names. Yeah. Probes continue with searches and links to other scams, some funds reportedly sent abroad. And you're looking at this thing, right? And then Department of Human and Health, Rob, go back to their tweet of what they sent yesterday that got some 25 million views, okay? This is the one, Rob, go a little bit lower. Is this the one that got 25 million views? Go a little bit lower. Yeah, this is the one. 33 million views.
The long one.
So go all the way to the bottom first to show what they're responding to. So here's a Dustin George, a damning quote on Tim Walz, failure to stop fraud consuming Minnesota. No one was doing anything about the red flags. He said it was like someone was stealing money from the cookie jar and they kept refilling it. This is New York Times reporting on this. That's how bad it is. How fraud swamped Minnesota's social services system on Tim Walz's watch. 33 million views. Let's read what this tweet is. Go to the top, Rob. So Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let him know early on, helping for partnership and stopping it, but no response. Walz systematically retaliated, betting against whistleblowers, using monitoring threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz, certain DFL members, and in different mainstream media. You can go a little bit lower. In addition to retaliating against whistleblowers, he disempowered the Office of Legislative Auditor, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance, okay? Jeez. This is a cascade of systemic failures leading up to Tim Walz. Agency leaders appointed by Tim Walz willfully disregarded rules and laws to keep fraud reports quiet, even to the extent of threatening families of whistleblowers. Go a little bit lower. That's pretty wild, by the way. Keep going a little bit lower, Rob. Next paragraph. As staff, we firsthand withstand and observe fraud happening, yet we were shut down, reassigned, and told to keep quiet. Sometimes more leadership did not want to appear to discriminate against certain communities and were unwilling to take action such as stopping fraud that would have an adverse impact on their image. To this date, no single agency leader has been held accountable for their role in fraud, whether it's Shireen Gandhi, great last name, Jess Gale, Jody Harpstead, Natasha Mertz, Eric Grumdahl, or others. It's a structure created and maintained by Tim Walz, who had created an environment of interrelated agencies, institutions against the media, go a little bit lower in the media. Tim Walz is dishonest, lacks ethics and integrity, has poor leadership skills, and has never taken accountability for his role in the fraud. Instead, he deflects by blaming national politics for his own failings and distracts the public image. It's just terrible for the state to say this. As such, we can't find fraud in Minnesota alone, hence why we're pleading to the federal levels of the government. We're grateful to numerous solid politicians, especially the fraud committee and media outlets. Thank you, New York Times, for bringing the plight of Minnesota to the national stage. Tom, how bad is this?
This is terrible. What they've done, and let me paint the picture for you. This and the coverage by the New York Times, everything else, it comes down like this. The Somalis, a large number of Somalis, one of whom is in court on a $14 million charge. So this is not a sweeping statement, but the New York Times said that it was a significant number of Somalis that were involved in the fraud. What they do is they create a fake agency. That's the allegation. Money comes in from the federal government and they use it for other things. And they send it back. You know what remittances are? Remittances are money that leaves the United States. California has a very large amount of remittances that leave the United States from Mexican families sending it to their parents and relatives in Mexico. There is absolute fact that a couple of the people that are prosecuted, the money was going back to Somali to basically bad people.
Al-Shabaab, a freaking terror organization, to name one of them.
Just one. That's exactly right. And so what happened here was Tim Walz got pinched and went with it. How much power did the Somalis have? Vinny, I'll ask you, how much power did the Somalis have if he said, no, we're going to investigate this. We can't be doing this. What happens the next election?
They don't elect him, and they use the word racist. He's racist. You're racist.
That's right. And by the way, and who is their queen?
Ilhan, I hate America, Omar.
That's exactly right. Pat, that's what happened. The Somalis are using this as a welfare system and a scam system back to themselves and to send money to Al-Shabaab. So thanks to Tim Walz, in my opinion, Tim Walz has knowingly...
Not Walsh. This is no relation to Bill Walsh.
Not Bill Walsh.
This is not a football guy.
Like from the window.
Walz.
To the walls.
Sorry for my Canadian accent.
Sorry, Tom.
So
Bill Walsh was a legend. I don't want to put him in there.
Tim Walz, in my opinion, is personally responsible for funding Al-Shabaab because he knew all of this was going on. And take a look at all that Medicaid.
Yep.
You know what that is? That's money coming from the federal government to cover the gap that's in Minnesota. And you know what ARPA was? ARPA, remember they said that they wanted the money to come through on ARPA? That's the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Which was under Biden, which put money back to the states that needed it after COVID shortfalls. So Walz knew the money was coming in. He knew what they were doing, and he was giving appointments to people and intimidating people to keep them quiet, because if he went up against the Somalis, he was going up against Ilhan Omar, and in his next election, he's dead.
By the way, not physically.
Not physically. He's over. His political career would stop at that next election.
Rob, is this where he's being questioned about it?
Yes, with Meet the Press.
Okay, go for it.
Little knucklehead.
African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy.
All right, so pause it right there. So let's role play. You ready? Those people are going to jail. Do you think those people have dirt on him?
Absolutely.
Okay, so check this out.
Buckets.
Yeah, so check this out. What happens if those people you claim, like I've had a lot of mobsters on when I would talk about who killed John F. Kennedy and, and what happened with them. And mob came out after, all these other stories you hear about with Bobby and all this other stuff, right, that happened. If those stories are true, who had stuff on Kennedy's? The mob did.
Of course.
And what did the mob say? Wait a minute, now you're coming after us? Because Bobby Kennedy, the moment he became AG, he went after the mob.
Of course.
And prior to that, they said...
Except his dad's guys.
Except his dad's guys. But it was, at first, they're like, no, there's no such thing as, the mafia. There's no such thing as any of this stuff that's going on, right? Okay. If he plays this card and then he goes after them, the 86 who Batia was talking about earlier, that if they call them out and those 86 Somalians in Minnesota came out and said, we would tell the world that you're racist. If they know the truth and they have receipts, this is a bad situation.
He's and here's the thing. He has to say, I'm going to go after them. And in turn, he's screwed. And like his wife said during the campaign, you know what they're going to do to him? Turn the page. That whole shit. He's finished, Pat. If this was a movie, and we were sitting there watching this, right now what you would say? Oh, the governor's in on it. And I just want to make it and by the way, do you know that during one of these cases, they were trying to bribe jurors, Tom, for like a couple $100,000, and they got caught. A Somali was trying to do it. And just, Pat, when he's trying to be like,
wow,
this isn't just Somalis. Rob, can you put up the names? I want the audience to
Well, that's what happened. The Somalis come over here, then they get Netflix and they watch Untouchables and they learn about Al Capone, and then they start learning all these tricks.
Yeah, start scrolling down. Pat, what do you see here? Salim Ahmed Sahid. Keep going. Abdul Khadir Nur Sahla. Ahmed Sharif. By the way, they're not all.
Accent is amazing.
Hey, Abdi Nur Sahla. Yeah, I am your captain now. Look at all these Mahmoud, Bashir. Give me a freaking break.
What does that all mean, Vinny? What
Adam, the majority of them are Somali, and what pisses me off the most...
Are what?
These are all the people that were in charge of the fraud.
Muslim?
75 charge in connection to the $1 billion feeding on future.
I didn't see that
fraud.
one coming.
Abdi Mohammed. So give me a break.
Are you sure those names are Islamic?
I'm almost 99.9%.
Say a couple more, just because I'm not
A couple more. Hold on. Fahrud Nur. Anab Artad Alwa, Sharkadi Issa. Okay, and a couple of more Muhammad.
Well, it sure doesn't look like the Boy Scouts in Mobile, Alabama to me.
So let my point.
Wait. Rob has one point.
What, Rob?
We have to give a shout out to
Sharon Ross in the house.
Sharon Ross.
By the way, she converted to Islam in 2017. So
Sharon Ross in the gospel. Pat, you know what? This is what pisses me off the most. The Ilhan Omars, these disgusting human beings that come to our country, okay, talk shit about the country, bash the president, complain all the time, and then your people are robbing us for $1 billion, you disgusting human being.
Listen, let's be a little bit respectful, because last night the Celtics were playing the Timberwolves.
Okay.
And do you not like good halftime shows?
Yeah.
I like good halftime shows.
Of course I do.
Yesterday, at the Minnesota Timberwolves, Rob, I sent it to you, Minnesota Timberwolves and the Celtics halftime show. There's nothing like a great, phenomenal halftime show.
Okay.
Because it makes the game more exciting.
Course,
you want to see like backflips and, acrobatics and stuff like that. This is yesterday's halftime show. I think you're going to love it. Zoom in a little bit. Go ahead, Rob. This is
the halftime show? Seriously.
Yesterday's Celtics Timberwolves.
What is this?
Somalian halftime show.
Oh, no, I've seen these groups. They're great.
Watch this.
We're bringing them to Miami soon.
This is at the Target Center yesterday. Rob, zoom out a little bit. Let's see what it says.
Look at the crowd.
Okay, Somalians dancing
crowd's loving it.
Pause. Somalians dancing at half court for the Minnesota Timberwolves Celtics game. This is Derek Evans showing this. And it was verified. If you go to the bottom and check what Grok had to say, that it was verified. It was them dancing last night at the game, which is great. Some people like that. Go ahead, Vinny.
And I know that you love when this type of stuff happens, Pat. You're searching, you're digging, and then something hit me, and I was like, wait a minute. If Tim Walz, let's just say, he is involved in all this stuff is happening, Minnesota, Tommy, how much was it? Hundreds of millions of dollars in healthcare fraud. Okay, so meaning money, a lot of this money, Medicaid and all this stuff, going to illegals. Do you remember this blast from the past? Do you guys remember back in June, guys, that there was a vote to end health care for illegals in Tim Walz's great state of Minnesota. Remember, there was 1 out of 67 Democrats that voted no, and she was crying. Do you remember who she was? Do you remember that girl? Melissa Hortman, and she was murdered alongside with her husband. Somebody went to her house, Vance Bolter, who, by the way, was appointed on the governor's workforce development board by Tim Walz. This guy went and shot and killed her. And he said, this is Bolter saying this, he claimed Tim Walz also wanted him to kill Amy Klobuchar.
Stop it.
I Google that and say that if he said that.
Stop it.
So think about this, Patrick. He knows what's happening. Tim Walz, like I said, if this was a movie, that's pretty interesting. The one Democrat, and Rob, once you're done, find her. She walks out of the hall after she casts her vote, and she's crying. She's crying because she's like, America, we can't do this. We can't give it to illegals. Americans have to get it. She's bawling. She goes home and she gets shot with her husband. Weird.
Are you serious about this story?
I'm dead serious. This is 1,000%. I'll guarantee you, in a letter claim, Tim Walz instructed him to kill Amy Klobuchar as well. And notice, it gets memory hold, Pat.
Why though? Why Amy?
You tell me. You tell me. I don't know. But he's saying, and obviously they're going to say he was rambling, he was incoherent. But why would you kill if you were appointed by
him? Political science wrote a letter on FBI which he claimed that Tim Walz ordered to kill Amy Klobuchar upon 57 alleged rambling. Wrote a letter that former Democrat vice president candidate as part of a plot for Walz to take her spot in the Senate. Minnesota Star Tribune, citing people familiar with the writing. The letter, which is 1.5 pages, is mostly incoherent and given insight into the muddled mind of Minnesota madman.
Yeah, he's a
madman. The source told the outlet.
Just saying, it's kind of weird that the one person that voted...
he killed the one lady?
He killed her and her husband at her house and then went and shot other people as well.
Can I see the video of the lady that was crying?
Yeah, Rob, show her.
Just to remember this?
This is... You're gonna remember. Melissa, she comes out of the vote, and this is her. And then she was killed shortly after this. Look at her.
Will be hurt by that vote. And we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
What's her job?
Speaker Emerita Melissa.
She was
in Congress.
Unfortunately killed by that guy, right?
Unbelievable.
She's a representative for that. But Patrick, mind you, Democrat crying because she feels bad that these illegals aren't going to get their Medicaid, but it's the Americans deserve it. So you know what they said? You're going against the grain.
She's a Democrat.
She's a Democrat. That went the only one that went against 67 votes that said keep the money coming.
How much after crying did she get killed?
I think how long, Rob? Was it a day? Or was it? It was Rob. Pat. It had to be that week. It had to be that week where she was shot and killed because the vote happened and then they shot her.
Rob, go back on the link on the right there. On June 14, her was finally fatally shot in her home in Brooklyn.
What was the vote?
So just think when the vote was. That's June 14th.
So June 14th. Wow. And then when was that vote? To stop illegal aid to illegals, aid to illegals. It had to be that same week or two.
It just says June.
June. Bill passed in June
2025.
Boom. So around the same time frame.
Unbelievable.
How wild is that? And she's crying because she feels bad because she's like, to make it happen, we had to take that provision out of the bill. So,
June 9th.
June 9th. So again,
5
Patrick,
days.
if 5 days, if this was a movie, you know what I'd say at this point? Wait a minute, Tim, you're the governor. You have to know. You have to know. And then people are getting killed.
Was she upset or was she scared?
Tommy, she looked like she was upset and scared in the same breath, bro. 5 days later, you're shot and killed. Come on, bro.
And by the way, Americans, if you're watching this, he almost became your vice president.
Oh my God.
He almost became your vice president. Mm-hmm. He was
such a knucklehead.
One, event away from becoming a president. Yep. Think about that. How close that was. Adam, your thoughts on this whole thing? You're from your family, so I believe.
My mom is from Minnesota,
yeah.
So this is a story that I've been tracking for a while. So, look, Trump has come out and he's called. Listen, Trump will say things that will offend you. So this might be offensive to some of you. Trump has called and labeled certain countries shithole countries. Well, if you want to find a shithole country, look no further than Somalia. And I'm not saying that in terms of opinion or emotion. Fact check me. If you want to talk about misery, corruption, low economy, militias, gangs, failed states, look no further than Somalia.
No working government, according to
no
the
working
UN.
government. I mean, listen, on this list, you're going to find Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, North Korea, Venezuela. But at the top of the list, you're going to look for Somalia. Now, you might be saying, why the hell would Somalians in Northern Africa, a 99% Muslim majority country, go to freezing ass Minnesota? Well, if you want to look into Minnesota a little bit, Minnesota's nickname is called Minnesota Nice. They're the nicest people. Oh, they're so nice. Oh, hello, Minnesota. Welcome. Here, take my house, take my family, take my entire state. It's all yours now. At some point, you're going to find some not so nice people in Minnesota who go, what the hell's going on here right now? I was in the meeting that we met at NALBA, and I was seeing a lot of guys who work for Allianz. I don't want to name names, but a lot of them are based in Minnesota. And I go, guys, what the hell's going on with your state? And keep in mind, in the insurance industry, they got to kind of keep it buttoned up. And they didn't want to say anything. And I was like, guys, time to grow some frickin' balls here and say what you really think. There's no reason that you should have this many Somalians in Minnesota, the most freezing state in the country. It makes no sense. So you inherit these war-torn, ravaged individuals who are funding terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab and bring them through your refugee program that you set up through your church. You know, what's the book that you always recommend for people who are too nice? No More Mr. Nice Guy. Everyone in Minnesota who cares about Minnesota, the Scandinavian bastion in North America, needs to read No More Mr. Nice Guy and stop accepting this Somali BS. If they want to get on board and say, hey, we're proud to be an American, proud to be a Minnesotan, great. But I don't see any of that going on in Minnesota.
And think about this. You import the third world, you're going to get the third world. And here's the thing, your boy, Nick Shirley, he went there, Patrick. He went in Minnesota. He was just interviewing people. The majority of them couldn't speak English. Okay, couldn't speak English. The woman would, the men refused the women to be on camera. It was as if you were in Somalia. And I'm sorry, guys, this whole suicidal empathy attitude of no, we love, and enough with that bullshit. Because I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen Europe lately, yeah, by the way, this is just him going through and asking people questions. Go ahead, Robbie.
I'm here in the United States.
I'm not speaking English, only one Somali language.
What does it mean to you to be a part of Islam?
I don't know. I'm not.
Don't speak English.
Speaking English very well.
How are you? Do any of you speak English?
Where is this?
English?
That's in
Are
Somalia.
they in Somalia?
No, it's
No.
in
Can women
Minneapolis.
speak on camera?
They won't let them put them on camera.
No.
The religion.
Our
I kept
religion.
going because I wanted to speak with some more of the elders here to see if they could share their story about coming here from Somalia and how they've seen the rise firsthand. However, Hello. none of them spoke English. How are you? Can I ask any of you guys some questions? No? Speak English?
English no.
No?
Okay.
Do
Like-
any of you speak English?
Look,
After a few
Listen,
interviews,
just casually
somebody
picking
came up-
her
Casually.
nose.
Yeah, just whatever. She's gonna eat it after. But here's the thing: you come to this country, but Pat, you have to assimilate. You have to learn the language. You have to try to contribute. This is proof. This is proof. This isn't racist. This isn't uncaring. You come here, you suck from our system. You have all these freaking kids. You stay. You rob us for $1 billion, and then we say shit. You call us racist. And I'm sick and tired of people that aren't from this country. People from London, people from here. Look at what's happening overseas. You can't even. And Christopher Hitchens, Pat, he did a great. In 2009, he warned, especially with England, you're not going to be able to complain, number one. And if you even open your mouth, they're going to label you Islamophobic. Okay? Enough of that nonsense.
Hitchens or Murray?
Christopher Hitchens
Yeah,
had a
of course.
great thing
But
in
here's
2009,
the challenge
warning
that-
you guys, warning them.
Here's the challenge I see in Minnesota. Where are the politicians that are speaking up against this? Where are the
Against
business
them?
leaders?
Adam, none of them.
No, meaning you have Tampon Tim, you have Ilhan Omar, you have Amy Klobuchar, you have Jacob Fry,
Yeah.
you have the other dude that Jacob Fry beat, the Somali pirate guy. Yeah. Where are the conservative American voices in Minnesota being like, guys,
They have no chance.
what the hell are we doing here?
They have no chance.
This suicidal empathy,
Adam,
this
because
tolerance that we're just letting you come on in, guys. The world's worst shithole country.
Yep.
Come on in, guys. Minnesota nice.
Yeah.
Where are the voices speaking out against this?
absolutely none of them, Adam, none of them, because they were
Because
all
if they
voted
said
out.
what I said, what you said,
Yep.
they would be worried about getting canceled.
Let me explain something to you.
Grow a pair of balls, guys.
coming.
Well, let me show you what President said about Ilhan Omar, Rob, if you want to go to it. Oh, is that Chris Hitchens, Rob? You want to play that clip because you found it?
That's a great clip.
Go for it.
Business, ladies and gentlemen, I beseech you, resist it while you still can, and before the right to complain is taken away from you, which will be the next thing. You will be told you can't complain. because you're Islamophobic. The term is already being introduced
2009
into the culture as if it was an accusation of race hatred, for example, or bigotry, whereas it's only the objection to the preachings of a very extreme and absolutist religion. Watch out for these symptoms. They are not just symptoms of surrender, very often ecumenically offered to you by men of God in other robes, Christian and Jewish and smarmy ecumenical. These are the ones who will hold open the gates for the barbarians. The barbarians never take a city till someone holds the gates open.
And Keir Starmer is one of those guys.